Here are some fantasy books that are perfect to read in the winter. Starting off with a pretty obvious one, Once Upon a Broken Heart. This book takes place in the magnificent North, which is pretty much a magical winter wonderland. The entire story gives whimsical fairy tale vibes, and it follows Evangeline, who is a soft female main character, as she travels to the magnificent North and deals with the bargain she made with the Fate Jacks. I recently reread the first two books in this one, and they were just as great as the first time I read them. Next, I have the Tales of Arcana Fortune. This is actually a perfect book if you are a fan of Once Upon a Broken Heart because it also has whimsical fairy tale vibes. The story follows Serena Rose, who is a healer, and she ends up being cursed to spend 7 nights in 7 different fairy tales. This was such a fun story to read. I love how it took some fairy tales that I was familiar with and added these different twists to them. Next, I have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This was one of my favorite books I read in 2025. I do want to say that it is a bit of a unique story and the writing style is different. However, once I got used to it, I absolutely loved the way it was written. The story follows Emily, who is a scholar and is planning to write an encyclopedia of fairies. She ends up traveling to different places to document the different type of fae that live there, along with her co-worker Wendell, who she correctly suspects is actually fae. This is really such a unique read. I had a great time reading it, and even though Emily and Wendell's relationship isn't necessarily the main part of this, it is still really sweet and adorable, and I love them together. Next, I have Twin Crowns. The story follows Ren, who is a witch and is living on the outskirts of the kingdom, and Rose, who is preparing to become queen of the kingdom. Two are actually twin sisters, although Ren is the only one who is aware of that. And so her and her friend plan to kidnap Rose and have Ren take her place in order for the witches to sort of take back the kingdom. This was a really fun young adult fantasy that I read. It reminded me a lot of like Disney Channel's Twitches meets Barbie's The Princess and the Pauper, and then even meets Disney's Frozen. So even though there are some love interests, does emphasize the sisterly bond and the importance of that, and I really enjoyed that in this book. And last, I have Wilde Reverence. I don't know if this is necessarily a winter book, however, this is a book that I felt was so cozy. It follows the love story between Matilda, a goddess, and the human Vincent, and honestly, this is one of the most beautiful books I have ever read. It is such a great read, and I highly recommend this one.